This is the Big Hurt of Pro Wrestling, DeAndre Jackson, and I'm locked in with 9-8 Films.
Big Hurt, what's going on? What's going on?
Man, thank y'all for having me, man.
Anytime, you know, you the first professional wrestler that I got on here.
Okay.
You feel me?
Making history?
Making history. You know, I checked you out. I forgot how. No. I ain't gonna say I forgot how, because I know exactly how. I was. I can't remember the wrestling promotion. I cannot remember the name of it for the life of me. But I found it on Twitter, and then I found you, and I was like, okay, he seems like, you know, an interesting person to, you know, talk to. So
try to be.
I want to, you know, start off with, you know, just tell me some of your favorite wrestlers. You know what I'm saying? Where you got a top 5 or top 10? Man,
that's kind of hard to do top 5, top 10, because
it's so many.
You gotta go back and look, and I look at everything, you know, from the old school to people out of England, people out of Australia, people out of Japan, Mexico, Canada. So it's kind of hard, you know. I will say that the 2 matches that made me want to be a wrestler, they weren't even WWE matches. They were WCW matches. Okay. It was, and I just watched both of them last night. One was from WCW Super Brawl 2, and it was Brian Pillman versus Juice and Thunder Liger, who, you know, Brian Pillman's son actually wrestles now, and I got to meet him and Juice and Thunder Liger. And then the other match was Booker T versus Chris Benoit from Great American Bash 1998.
Yeah.
And I got to meet Booker T and him and his wife and his brother Stevie Ray, and it was one of those surreal moments. You get to sit here and look at this guy that, you know, you think about black wrestlers, that's one of the top ones, and just sitting there talking to him and going like, yo, that match, and him just getting this big, you know, Cheshire cat grin on his face to say, yeah, that's the one. So Booker T would be one. Just Thunder Liger would be another one. I could go on from days and days. It's kind of hard to put all my favorites into one list.
I got you. Booker T was always my favorite wrestler. I ain't gonna lie. I always like Booker T. I always like. I feel what you said. It's kind of hard, but if I had to choose one wrestler, I gotta go with Booker T. Yeah. Booker T used to be my boy. I used to like Booker T. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
So as a professional wrestler, you know, you don't really, people don't really just come in contact with professional wrestlers, you know what I'm saying? So yeah. What is it like as, you know, as a professional wrestler? Because this is your occupation.
Man, people think it's like all glitz and glamour and nice big hotels and first class flights. And if you're not WWE or AEW, like those type of guys, it's a lot of car rides and gas stations and Bang energy drinks, which, you know, I'm already on my first one for the day. You know, sleeping in your car, the worst hotels sometimes. And, you know, you get gypped. I tell people, like, with wrestling, it's like comedy, it's like music, it's like acting, it's like art, you know, which I dabble in most of those as well. It's all the same. It's a real struggle. It's a grind. You got to keep hustling. So when people think one way, it's really another until you get to that level. So that's what professional wrestling is. And yeah, you have those times where it's just like, yo, man, this promoter is going to fly me and pay me all this money. But, you know, a lot of the times it's you and some guys in the car driving from town to town, making your money, get in, get out, and keep it moving.
I got you. So how long have you been wrestling?
So December 14th will make 11 and a half years.
Okay, so you've been doing this for a while. You've been doing it for a while. I got you.
Oh, yeah.
So, you know, like how you were just saying, like you don't really get the first class flights, the big hotels, things like that. So how does, because in a sense, you almost like a contractor, right? Because you can work for different promotions.
Yeah, I work for whoever I want. I haven't signed no contract. I don't have a contract.
How do injuries work? Since you're not like under a company, like if you get injured, like you hurt your back or something, like, you know what I'm saying?
Man, let me tell you, a lot of guys you wouldn't know. We fight through some pain, fight through some stuff. Like the injuries mount up, and you take care of them a certain way. You get them, you get hurt one weekend, and then you do enough this week to get back to at least 85% to make it to your next show. Like my list of injuries is is getting up there. You know, especially when doing all the wild and crazy stuff I did when I first started, and now it's like I slow it down. I try to take care of myself, and you still get injured, you still have some aches and pains, but most of the time it's all right. Take some ibuprofen, tape it up, ice it, heat and pad, and let's keep it moving.
Gotcha. So, how would you like define your wrestling style?
How would I define my wrestling style? I'm a fighter. That's life right there. When I first started, I tried to be something else I wasn't. just because that's what you think you should do. But as you progress and you learn, you start figuring out, okay, this is where I am. So I'm a fighter. I like to throw fists, get down with it, throw people around the ring. If I have to, I'll fly. You know, don't let the size fool you. I'll pull off that cruiserweight stuff to surprise the crowd. But you know, I'm real. Get my hands on you. Let's throw these fists and see who's gonna stand them.
So when you get on the top rope and do your moves off the top rope, how does the crowd react to that?
Number one, when you put the first foot on the first rope, everybody gonna look like this dude's crazy. And then the closer you get to the top, you know, they're expecting something different. Like, oh, he's going to get stopped. But when you get there and you actually come off, and it's just like, he really just, yeah. So you get that big reaction, the pop, as we say. And it's an adrenaline pump. So sometimes you might be like, I did it this time, I'm going to do it this time. Then you got to, like, once again, that's when the injuries come in. You got to be like, save that, you know, get the most out of your bang.
Gotcha. So, explain the training aspect of it, because, you know, of course, professional wrestling gets a lot of like flack for, you know, people call it fake or whatever. People don't understand, like, this is a real sport. Like, when people slamming you, this is a real slam. Like, you can't fake that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you know, the training starting off at a good wrestling school, you know, that's one thing I get a lot of messages about, like, how do I get into it? You know, where do I start? Who do I go to get trained? And it's like, you got to do your research. You know, all those, you know, it seems too good to be true. Like, I'm paying only $50. You're not getting a good foundation, and you're not going to be as good as you want to be. So starting off at a good, reputable school as well. And there's plenty up and down the East Coast and out West as well. But that and training and constantly going back and getting your body used to it, because it's one thing people don't understand is that you're going to be in different types of rings and different types of arenas everywhere, buildings, what have you. And so you got to get your body accustomed to it, because I've seen guys come in first day and train, and they're just like, oh, this doesn't seem too bad. And then the second day they come in, they can barely walk. You got to get your body used to it, and you got to learn how to do things safely so you don't get hurt. Because there are a lot of people in this business that aren't trained properly, and they don't know how to properly do things. So they wind up hurting themselves, or worse, hurting others. And I've been proud to say I haven't hurt anybody. And if I did, it was just like a little minor thing to where, you know, it's like a little bruise, and it's going to clear up in a couple of days. But that training aspect of learning how to do things properly and the safe way is like key number one. But also make sure you take care of your body, whether it be yoga, whether it be in the gym, or going to a chiropractor, things of that nature, you know. And even this now with me personally, I get blood tests twice a year, and that's making sure your body's still in a healthy condition as well. That's also a key point of it as well. So all that together, the training aspect, making sure your body is still healthy and keeping it strong and flexible, and making sure inside is healthy as well, all key points of like the training aspect for me.
Gotcha. So when you go to you know, the wrestling school, do they teach you mic work too, or is that something you just have to develop on your own?
It's something you learn there, but you also have to do on your own. I'll give an example. Like, The Rock wasn't taught to be The Rock just in wrestling school. He had to learn that. He had to come up with that. I'm pretty sure he said some things in the mirror to himself to say, that sounds pretty good. Let me try it with somebody else. All right, let me try it on TV. And then it catches on, and it's just like, all right, cool. And that's what you got to keep doing, is repetition. You know, comedians, and actors, and musicians don't just go on stage and do one performance like, I got it. They got to practice it and repetition and see how it hits and try it at different places. And all right, I tried this here, but it didn't work. If I try it over here and it hits this way because I said the instead of and, that's what I'm gonna stick with, and building that and building on that and building on that. So it's in school, but it's also on your own. You know, being in the car with some guys, and y'all just, all right, man, 1 minute, talk about Skittles, and you have to go 1 minute about Skittles and make it entertaining.
Gotcha. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. Like a sales pitch almost.
Yes.
Understand. So when you look at the, like, okay, so WWE is the top wrestling promotion.
Right.
Then we could put AEW a second, right? Or
I think you could put AEW a second right now because of their position, you know, them being on a nationwide television program, and having all these generations of fans coming into it as well.
Okay, so with those, so you watch both, right? Like, do you have time?
Yeah, when I have time, I'll watch both.
So which one do you prefer?
Oh man, to be honest, man, it's kind of hard. Like I don't get so much to watch Raw or SmackDown as much, but Wednesday nights I try to make sure I watch the NXT program and the AEW program as well, to watch those younger people coming up, because I got a lot of friends in both WWE and in AEW, so it's kind of cool to see them and kind of like, wow, man, I was here with them at this point, I was here with them at this point, but just to be able to watch it and see, man, and right now I tell people it's a good time to be in the business, it's a good time to be a fan, because you have so much on the landscape that you can watch.
That's that's what it's seeming like. I was talking to a few, you know what I'm saying, of people that that I know that watch wrestling, like how I watch, and it just feel like it's like a breath of fresh air, because I just felt like it was just like WWE and then nothing. Like TNA tried.
Yeah, it's like you had TNA, Impact, you had ROH, and things of that nature, and it almost felt like you had to kind of be underground and know where to find them to watch any of the program, or how to find them online. Yep. And now it's just like, here it is. You get on YouTube, you get on TV, and you got like a bunch of commercials for both products. Even think about it, Sunday Night Football, and during the day, especially on Fox, they're pumping. They're pumping
on SmackDown like it ain't no tomorrow.
Yeah, and so now you got to think about that. Think about that a couple of years ago. There was like, if you saw a wrestling commercial outside of the channel, it was on outside of a certain time, it was kind of like, what is this doing on my TV? Now it's just like, oh wow, this is the thing, and everybody wants to be a part of it.
It makes sense. I mean, for somebody like me, I think that I'm enjoying the AEW more so than the WWE, because I feel like it's a competition. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of people saying this remind them of like the Monday Night Wars with Raw and WCW, and then I just feel like with AEW, it's kind of more of an adult-oriented crowd.
Yeah, and the thing about it is now, you think about it, the Monday Night Wars, you switch back and forth, or you taped one, watched one you want to watch live, then watch the other one. Now, you think about the power of digital media, especially with all these apps, these TV apps. A person can have two iPads, iPad, and their gaming system or their phone or what have you up, and they're watching both of them. I do it every Wednesday. I got two iPads that I watch them on, and I'm on Twitter, and I'm just interacting with fans and just going like, man, this is really a great time to be a wrestler. And you're still gonna have those people that are gonna be more pro WWE and more pro AEW than they are the other one. They'll complain about this, complain about that, but at the same time, it's just like, yo, you just enjoy the ride, because you gotta think about it. Years ago, we didn't have this. Now we got it, and it's like a great time for it.